So we're going to start off with the October forecast. Can't believe how fast this year has gone, but here we go. Dear ones, before we begin to discuss the October energies, I wish to speak a few words of what is occurring now. While it may not appear to be so, you are in most amazing times on your planet Earth. As the transition is well underway and the energetics are aligned for the transition to the new Earth to continue. As you go through these times, dear ones, I invite you to celebrate your progress. I invite you to celebrate who you are. Many of you listening to these transmissions have been on a very deep and rich soul journey in which you have been tried and tested and gone through many rebirths, practiced many mastery opportunities, and you have become quite strong as souls. And so I invite you in these moments and in this moment together to breathe into your heart space and to acknowledge your own soul journey. And to celebrate your being, your human nature, your multidimensional nature, the totality of who you are, even if you are not in touch consciously with the totality of who you are, to celebrate it and to acknowledge your growth. You are beautiful, dear ones. From my perspective, I see radiant shimmers of light emanating from planet Earth as I view your souls. And so I invite you, as you go through this transition, to remember the light that you are, and to invite more and more of that light to flow through you, to emanate from you. And to touch the lives around you. Allow your light to minister to others. Allow your light to be a beacon for those who need some help to find their way. Let us speak of the energetics for October. In some senses, it will be a continuation of what you have experienced in September. Lots of new portals of opportunity will continue to open for humanity. And as it is up to each one to recognize when those opportunities are open for you and to decide which opportunities to say yes to. and to acknowledge the support that you have as you say yes to more opportunities, more support arrives for you. This is the nature of how your spiritual service works. When you commit yourself to service, when you say yes over and over again to various types of service, more support shows up, whether it is physical support or energetic support or spiritual support. Whatever is needed for you shows up when you say yes. And so I wish for you to remember this, dear ones, as you move into October and beyond, that your commitments to service then come along with support. Many of you wish for the support to show up, to prove that you have the resources to move forward. But it rarely works like this. When you say yes, this is when the support shows up. And so the invitation is to move boldly into October with your conviction for service, for your own personal ministries, for your own soul missions, to say yes. Move forward in faith and trust. October will also contain some energies of stirring up, meaning the things that have not been working for you personally or for the collective will be stirred up so that they can be seen and dealt with. This part does not feel as easy to the human. It generally does feel like more of a challenge, but I invite you, dear ones, to embrace the opportunities for change. If something falls apart in your life, or something simply hasn't been working, allow it to shift, allow it to be stirred up, allow it to change, and create something better. This is also a time to come together, to resolve your differences, to figure out how to support each other, whether it is a family member, a colleague, a friend. If you have been having trouble relating with someone, this is a time to put forth extra effort to see how you can contribute to creating a better relationship. Ask the other person what they would like from you in order for the relationship to be better. It has become very easy for humans to separate themselves from one another because your lives have largely become very independent instead of living in tribal community where you are interdependent. You now have the illusion of the ability of living very separate and independent lives. But as things change on this planet, you will want to have the skill set of relating to each other in harmonious ways. And so if there's someone in your life with whom you have been having conflict, it is a good idea to do your part to resolve that now. Call upon the higher self of the other person, call upon your guides to direct you in coming to resolve with each other. October will also contain some energies of amplification. This goes along with the stirring up energetics, where whatever is needed to be amplified in your life, the energetics will support that. Now, to some degree, what you focus on will be amplified, but there will also be additional support that whatever is needed to be amplified in your life will be shown to you. And so if something is feeling ultra intense, you can remember this is because things are being amplified. And if it is feeling ultra intense, then it is something that needs your attention. It may be that it needs healing, it needs your love, it needs acceptance. Ask what is needed if this comes up for you in the month of October.
Can you talk a little bit more about how and when we'll be transitioning to New Earth? Is there anything else you can share about it to provide more clarity?
It is happening now, dear one. There is no predictor of speed because it is what the humans decide. It is based upon the frequency of the human collective. It is a frequency shift. And so there needs to be that threshold of frequency that humans embody in order to land in New Earth. And it also happens in stages, as we have discussed before. So there is an initial version of New Earth. And as you land in the initial version of New Earth, your frequency continues to rise as a collective. And then you move into another version of New Earth. And the more the frequencies continue to rise at the collective level, the closer to what you might call utopia you experience on this planet. And so there will be stages of dismantling, reassembling, there will be stages of changing frequency and personal rebirths and collective rebirths. The global experience with COVID was part of the collective rebirth, and it was important that that be a global experience because New Earth is a global experience. It was important that the entire planet went through that experience so that the entire planet could transition and make a choice about what frequency they wanted to land in, and make a choice about what frequencies each human wished to embody. And so, as you see more global experiences, you can be assured that that is part of the planetary rebirth. That is part of the transition to New Earth. Not to say that localized experiences are not part of the transition to New Earth. But the global experiences are important because they synchronize the collective field energetically.
Prime Creator, can you talk a little bit and explain the difference about how, as we transition to the new Earth, and some people are staying in 3D, will we still be interacting with them? It sounds like we will. Will it all look the same? Can you shed any light on that? Because I don't really have a clear picture of what that looks like or how it will be.
It has the potential to look very different for each person, depending on what roles you are choosing to play, what service roles you are choosing. Many of you will continue to interact intimately with those of lower frequency. And some of you will choose to be more separate, choosing to live off of the land, choosing not to live in a big city, things like this. It depends on what experience you want. It depends on what role you choose to play as part of your soul mission. For some, it will bring them great joy to interact with other people, offering them help and assistance. And for some of you, you have been doing this for quite some time and you are ready to have more of your own, more isolated reality. So it will look very different for each one. And again, it will happen in stages. And so at one stage, you may play one role and then you may decide to change roles. And for a different stage, you will do something different. And so then your life will look different and how you interact with other humans will look different. So as many humans as there are on the planet, there are this many possibilities of what this can look like. The thing with the human mind is that it wants to structure and organize and understand everything. But some things are meant to be lived and not predicted. And this is the case as you transition into New Earth. You will live this experience and then you will understand. You will not understand and then live the experience. And so I invite you all to stay open to the unfolding, to stay open to the mystery, to embrace the mystery. I thank you, dear ones.
Is it possible for a light worker or a light being to choose to stay in the lower realms for the collective to catch up? It's kind of like a feeling within me, and I would like clarity with that. Thank you.
Absolutely, dear one. Yes, beautiful question, dear one. Yes, there are many times where a high frequency being will choose to operate in lower frequency environments to hold the light in those places, to offer higher frequencies to lower frequency beings. This is very common. And if you consider how ascended masters sometimes choose to return to Earth, if you consider how your own soul may have elected to come back, These are examples of high frequency beings coming into lower density. In fact, many souls on the planet now are of very high frequency, and they have come to this planet to bring the light. Now, as we have discussed before, there is a forgetting that occurs when a soul takes a human body, and the human does not always remember that they are an ascended master or that they are a high frequency being. And so they engage in lower frequency activities and live a lower frequency life than their soul might inform them to do. But because they have forgotten how to listen to their soul, they have a different experience. And so, yes, this is quite common. And by the same token, when a human remembers how much light they are, they can quickly transcend those lower density realms if they choose. And you can also live in two places at once, meaning for your own personal experience, you can have high frequency experiences and flows, but still choose to traverse into lower frequency realms to assist others. You can move in and out of the realms. We will conclude at this time, dear one, with a reminder to take care of the body. As you are going through this transition to the new earth, the body will change. The body may develop different needs for different nutrients. There may be foods that you wish to stop eating and foods that you wish to start eating. Listen very deeply to your bodies to discover what might be important to add to your diet or to release from it. Your body may wish to engage in different types of movement. Listen to your body to see what he or she wants. Your wiring will be changing as you transition to the new earth. What you engage with may change. The people that have been in your life may change. Stay as open and flexible as possible. To feel into and discover what is best for your body as you move forward. This is a time where things can change rapidly. And so even if there has been something that's been a part of your life, as long as you can remember, it may need to suddenly be uprooted and leave your life. And so it is important to stay open and flexible as much as possible to the change that is required for you to move forward in your lives and for you to move forward in your soul missions. I thank you, dear ones, and I celebrate you. I celebrate your growth. I celebrate your commitment to service. I celebrate your ascension. You are loved, dear ones. You are loved. Beautiful. Thank you, Prime Creator.